there's an incredible need. You see how many people are living just scratching the dirt, to make a living and just to get from one week to the next. And you don't have to be rich to have legal problems. And they deserve their day in court, they deserve representation, and in order to be treated fairly, they need somebody to go to bat for them. And I think that that Georgia Legal Services is directly responsible for keeping a lot of people in their homes, keeping food on the table, getting them their Medicaid and their whatever they need, the very basics of life, taking care of their children. They fight Goliaths for the little people every day.
Well, I came here long time ago.
I've been here since 1978.
I began working with legal services in 1978.
I have worked at GLSP since 1979.
I've been with Georgia Legal Service since June 15, 1979, which would be 37 years.
I've been with Georgia Legal Services as the health policy specialist for 37 years.
In October 27, I'll be here for 38 years.
In October, I'll be here 43 years.
I'm Phyllis Holman, and I'm the executive director, and I started working here in 1974.
I thought this would be a stepping stone, but I've really enjoyed the work over the years, and right now I can't see myself doing anything else.
This was just something that I was going to do for a short while and then retire at 62, but now I'm 64, so.
How long does it feel?
Well, it feels like a long time, but because I have really loved my job the whole time, it doesn't feel like too long of a time.
I couldn't see going anyplace else.
I've worked with Georgia Legal Services for 38 years, and I've really had a pleasure.
In the 39 years that I've been here, we have become a much more sophisticated organization.
When we used to work on, have 2 or more offices working on a brief, for example, whichever office initiated the brief had to put it in a box and put it on the Greyhound bus to ship it to the other offices so that other attorneys and workers could take a look at it. They would have to make their changes. All this was done on an IBM typewriter. Had to be put back in the box and sent to the original office.
And in terms of our technological innovations, our ability to, interact or to negotiate with our adversaries.
We have had periods of time when we could go lobby at the state legislature, and frankly, I think that was some of the most valuable work that we could do for people because you could make systemic change. When I first started working in the Augusta office, we filed federal lawsuits all the time. There are many improved jail facilities around the state that wouldn't have been improved if Georgia Legal Services hadn't sued somebody. Occasionally the sheriffs would even say, you know what, y'all ought to sue me because we need a better jail. So much has changed since I came. We had a lot more lawyers and paralegals and fewer potential clients.
Originally, when we opened the office, we actually served 17 counties. Well, we can't do that anymore with the size staff we have.
When I started in 1996, there were very few women attorneys and very few attorneys of color that we ever saw in the courtroom, and it has changed so much in 20 years.
If you've been here for almost 38 years, what has kept you working at Georgia Legal for that long?
I just think we have the greatest clients in the world. I think it's just such an honor to work with most of the people that I do. I don't know how they make everyday work.
When they come through the door, I see myself. It doesn't matter whether they're old, young, black, white, it doesn't matter.
It's for me, very humbling because every time I think that, okay, everything is okay with me, I have a client who comes in and lets me know, but for the grace of God, there go I. It could be me.
I started working with a low-income family. And that was when I really realized that all of the safety net benefits and all of the programs that the middle class believes are out there for families are out there. And that was really my first experience where I found out that that's not true. There aren't very many programs to help families. And so those few we have, we really need to protect them.
I think it's important that Georgia Legal Services exist in the entire state of Georgia. Being a private attorney for most of my life, I could see that there were a number of people who could not afford to pay for my services.
You know, in the 154 counties that Georgia Legal Services serves, a lot of these places, you know, don't have attorneys. The median income of a lot of counties as well, a lot of these are prospective clients and could qualify for our services.
There's a large population who do need legal assistance and can't afford it.
We get a lot of calls. We receive a lot of calls. At times, it's continuous.
And sometimes there are as many as 10,000 phone calls that come through.
You get in a situation in a lot of those towns where people don't get a fair shake, especially if they don't have money, if they have the wrong last name, if they just get in a situation where they can't get out of it, and poverty perpetuates a lot of this stuff.
Sometimes we're dealing with people who've never had a voice. No one's ever listened to them. And they finally have someone who's not just listening to them, but fighting for them.
There's a case that I'm currently working on right now where a client has been severely sexually abused through the years by multiple people, but currently by her landlord. And it's a very detailed situation, but speaking with her just yesterday and her telling me, when you met me, you told me not to worry about anything, so I'm not worried about anything. I've put this case in your hands. You've taken care of me thus far. I feel that I'm going to be okay with you.
And the look in the eyes of my clients at the end of those hearings, they felt so much relief just having those protective orders.
I was at the basketball park playing basketball about 7 or 8 years ago, and I remember some of the kids, they were at the park and they knew me. You know, one of the kids said, "Mr. Foster, you don't have to lock your car. You help my auntie keep her apartment. We got you, Mr. Foster." They thought guarding my car while I played basketball, I guess, was a payment for helping do good in the community.
There have been so many, but I tell you, there was one case that I had for a young lady whose mother was trying to get her disability. She had a learning disability, and her mother felt by getting her the benefits, it would afford her to get better medical care, better psychiatric and psychological help, and it paid off, because that young lady ended up graduating from her school, second in her class. And she didn't remain on disability because after a review, they realized that she got better. But the reason she got better is because her mother used those benefits to get her the special help she needed.
It's the day-to-day, like helping someone, you know, get food stamps. It's helping someone know that they're not going to be discharged from a nursing home, right? It's the hug that you get, or the email that you get, like when someone gets their name changed.
I defend a lot of housing authority and subsidized housing eviction cases. And I go to court, and oftentimes, you know, the property managers, the landlords, whomever, look sideways at my client because they have this perception that my client's on the government dole. And my response to that is, well, wait a minute. You signed an agreement so you could get money from the government, which means you're on the government dole, and the only reason I'm standing here is because you're not following the rules.
I think the character of legal services is that as a collective, we have a sense of mission. You know, there are many people here who, like me, don't just want a job. You know, we're people who want to get up every day and have a sense of mission and to feel that there's some action we can take that day that can have a positive impact.
You learn their stories and you try to help them because you want to fix the problem that they're facing. but you also see that the problems that they're facing are problems that many other people are facing too. And so then it's an opportunity to use that problem on an individual basis to create larger change.
We have this great resource, right? We're all over the state. How many organizations are in Macon and Augusta and Savannah and Columbus? Not many. And we have data and we have people in all those parts of the state. So you can look for things that are causing problems everywhere.
If you're going to have these programs, they have to work for the people they serve.
I just don't think anyone else has the expertise and the knowledge that we have on these programs. I think we could do a lot of good.